That's a thing, isn't it?
Did you wait till the helicopter?
Might be a different
It was
smell.
right above Brian.
I know, it was right above our house.
It had knocked down by then, thank goodness.
Yeah, they're real low too. Hopefully they know those power lines are there, because they were real
They'll
low.
learn if they
They
don't.
know. They got like
I think they got that down.
helicopter pilots are pretty
You know,
pretty
higher.
cool.
They'll have another disaster on their
We
hands.
figured it was
All
gonna be Mr. Drone, who's always over
Oh
there.
yeah.
He's annoying.
All right, 67, the annual appropriations. We're just gonna do second read on that. Any further questions on the budget as you've been reviewing it over the last 3 weeks? All right. 71 is the TIF. Where do we stand on that, folks?
Second reading,
Second reading on that?
yes, thank you.
Are we still waiting to hear from the school, or are we?
No, they don't have to actually.
Oh, okay.
Because we're not taking anything from them, so some of them send a letter acknowledging commitment to it, but
All right.
they're being kept.
Well, they've started construction.
Yeah, they, yeah.
Yeah, they've already started.
All right, resolution 75 is the ODOT project for Valley View. Joe?
Yes, so this is Valley View Road, south of Twinsburg Road, down to the city limits. This is scheduled to be resurfaced summer of '23. You guys might remember, the city got a grant for $292,000 earlier this year to go towards this project. That covers 90% of the cost. We're responsible for the other 10% of the cost, so obviously it's a great deal for the city. And in short, this legislation is for us to participate with or partner with ODOT. At this point, ODOT will conduct the public bid and administer and inspect construction as it happens.
So you had said we're paying for the whole thing, but they're managing it?
We're paying 10%.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah, our share is 10%. It's a little different.
All right,
And
did
then
you-
whenever the builder starts building, will we be paying attention? Because he really,
So
when he
we,
took out all that stuff to start it, I mean, he really demolished a bunch of stuff there.
yeah, they'll be monitoring that very closely. At this point, I don't believe that there's anything going on with that. If
No.
they do
Well,
start
he's
it,
stuck. I saw Brandon.
it's gonna be one at a time if they
Yeah.
do start, but we do watch that, we do hold the bond. So if they damage the road, that's gonna be a lot different on a brand new road as opposed to an old dilapidated road. So yes, we will keep a
Yeah,
close eye on
I just
that.
hate for us to do it, make it look nice, and then all that stuff shows up again and destroys it.
That'll be the last piece to completely resurface Valley View Road, which is a very long stretch, as we all
It
know.
is quite a road.
Yeah.
End to end of the city.
Morning, Joe Chairman.
Any other questions on this? 1, 2, 3 on this, if you would, folks.
Got it.
Breaking down hose, we can come in.
And then we have a motion that Jan's gonna read. And Vinnie, can you second that motion, please?
I can.
It's accepting money, please.
For the police department. And that is it for this agenda. Anything else to add, Mayor?
We could have come at 25 after.
Everything I'll give in my report is basically just economic development stuff, so nothing earth shattering that you probably already know, but I'll go over it so the whole public knows. Be redundant like I do in every interview, say the same thing.
You don't feel like doing it yet again? I'm kidding.
I honestly get people asking the questions, and I say it so many times I forget where I haven't said it, so that's why I'm just trying to be more consistent with that.
We can wait.
Yeah, I've been talking to the mayor, to talk to the state perchance about Highland and Route 8. That intersection's horrible, and now adding a car wash. You can't get out of Kentucky Fried to turn left. If we add more, we're not gonna be able to turn left. And then going from 2 lanes on 8 to 1, it's a drag racing. Very similar.
You mean on Highland?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sorry.
Highland's
It's
actually-
very similar to the drag race on 82 at Chamberlain.
Very bad the other day.
Highland's actually improved with those arrows. I've noticed a great difference with people knowing now that you have to get over, and the right lane is the travel lane, the left lane is more for turning.
They get there, but then it becomes, because it goes to 1, the guys in the left lane are always speeding
Sure.
to be, and then if it's 2, which it has been 2 semis, It's like, oh, well.
That's
we might as well
bad,
just-
yeah.
We might as well just forget that.
Well, we have talked to ODOT about that entire area. They don't feel that it's an area of a problem. They actually gave a statistic, I believe, wasn't it down at 82 and 8? They said that that was the highest problem area. Was that the one?
No.
Yeah, they released that
It's the
study a
intersection
while
of
back.
271 and 82.
But they were saying in terms of our area, the most dangerous, quote unquote, potential area would be Route 8 and 82. Not the high one, which I found very hard to believe,
No,
but
they rated us worse for the 271 by Speedway there. It's that whole intersection where, or by the Commons, where you come off the freeway. That's the one that they rated. Then they also added the other one. But in the paper, it was the number one was that intersection, which is horrible too.
Hey, Joe, did anything ever come out of that third traffic light discussion? Coming,
Off the exit ramp?
no, westbound on 82, when you come under the bridge. Remember we talked about it? And you were gonna get some lines painted for the left turn lanes coming off the highway?
Westbound on 82,
Yeah, if you're leaving Speedway,
yeah.
and you're traveling westbound, remember,
Mhm.
I showed you a video, I think, of if there's a semi-truck in the middle lane and you're on the right,
Oh.
they block the entire traffic light and you have no idea to turn
So
They
right.
can't see.
the signal heads did get moved over,
Oh, they did, okay.
yes, further to the right.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Alright.
yeah, the signal heads were misaligned.
With the lanes. Yeah.
Now I remember exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, they were misaligned, they were
Okay.
way off, quite honestly.
Do we have any influence too on when they use MapQuest? Because a lot of them, I think, are telling the semis to turn left to go to the Commons. And at the last minute, they look up and go no, and they pull over and cut off everybody to the right.
It's not as bad anymore since we removed the signs.
No, it's still bad.
I
It
haven't
happened
seen it.
every day
We
last
can't.
week because I go to Chick-fil-A. and
No,
I'm
we
like,
talked, Kyle's already looked into it and he says that we can't,
So there's nothing
Can't
to
do
change
anything.
on it, because
Right.
it sends them through the Commons, but then they look and go, I'm not going through the Commons,
yeah.
because it's not really
Yeah,
Big
Kyle
enough
looked
for
into that.
semis.
He said that you can't
Pardon me?
influence the
It's
semi
not big
maps.
enough for semis all the
That
time.
gentleman right there told us months ago that that was made for semi-traffic. They took the signs down. You can't keep the trucks out of there.
Oh, I
It's a
know, we
heavy
can't
duty
keep the
vehicle.
trucks up, but between the volume of traffic and adding semis, it's a mess.
Look how many
It's a whole
deliveries you have
scary
there.
area.
the whole Highland area, we've had this conversation multiple times about a right in, right out, and they're just not, they don't want any part of it. Same thing up there where the Myers is proposed,
Right.
same conversation, they don't wanna hear it over there either.
Going on to Route 8 from.
Did you have something, Chief? You were.
And I think Vince would agree, is there any way we could have the state put those emblems on the road for 271 and Route 8? We get a lot of very bad injury accidents
We've talked about that before.
because the one I remember specifically, a car was in the far left lane, like they were going to Route 8. At the last minute, wanted to exit
Every
to
day.
the Route 8 exit, shot across the 2 lanes of Route 8, or whatever you call that, part of the road that's striped, you can't drive in it.
Safety zone.
Then hit a car carrier,
Oh.
and they wound up down in the toilet bowl, as we call it, and we get there, and there's like 7 cars on their roof, and northbound, southbound, because people have no clue which road goes, I mean, the guy was there, but you
Chief,
drive
you mean
around
on
with
Those
the-
crashes were caused by
We talked about
Google
8
Maps
Split.
and MapQuest, because it was still showing you had to go that way to get on Route 8.
271.
What is
271
MapQuest?
and 8?
North or south?
Route 8 north to 271?
Is this like the Tom
No,
Tom thing
Route
all
8,
over again?
271 south.
Am I that
Then
old?
it splits
You're gonna
Route
get
8
off
goes
at
this
8.
way, and 271 continues.
And it's unusual because you go left to stay on Route 8.
Okay,
Like if
Okay.
you're going to still pre-construction.
okay.
That would be a huge benefit in my opinion.
I think if we could,
Chief, are you talking about, you're talking on 271
Like
itself?
they have a Route 8, they're getting off, like by Canton, south of Akron, at 76 or 76 and Route 8.
Central Interchange.
Yes.
They do, yeah. Yeah,
So-
they paint
That would
the.
be
Right.
great.
Let's chat tomorrow.
All right.
We can see what we can do.
Alright,
Just
we
do
good?
farther back.
Right. I mean, the signage is all there. I mean,
People are paying attention.
They're texting.
right.
texting and driving,
No
very
good.
bad.
What's your opinion on it?
I don't like it. Welcome to the November 10th council meeting. It is 7:30 PM. Will Mr. Hoover please call the roll?
Ms. Brandt.
Here.
Mr. Finley. Mr. Garbus.
Here.
Ms. Tully.
Here.
Mr. Ventura.
Here.
Now I ask American Legion Chaplain Tom O'Brien to lead us in the invocation and pledge.
This evening, being we're on the cusp of Veterans Day, I would like to give the same opening prayer they do at each and every post, district, state, national, and around the world. I think it's also fitting for this evening. Almighty God, Father of all mankind and Judge over nations, we pray Thee to guide our work in this meeting and in all our days. Send Thy peace to our nation and to all nations. Hasten the fulfillment of Thy promise of peace that shall have no end. We pray for those who serve the people and guard the public welfare, that by Thy blessing they may be enabled to discharge their duties honestly and well. We pray for our comrades that by Thy help they may observe the strictest justice, bring light the fires of freedom, strive earnestly for the spirit of democracy, and preserve untarnished our loyalty to our country and to Thee. Finally, O God of mercy, we ask Thy blessing and comfort for those comrades who are suffering mental or physical disabilities. Cheer them and bring them Thy blessing of health and happiness. Amen. Amen. Now please face the flag and join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain O'Brien, and thank you for your service, sir.
Pleasure.
Okay, moving into approval of minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of Thursday, October 27th, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comments, we have one signed up tonight. We ask that you come to the microphone, give your name and address, and then you limit you to 5 minutes, so we will set a timer for you when you begin.
Okay.
And the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Ellen Bertel, 319 West Highland Road in Northfield Center. I am here on behalf of the Historical Society of Old Northfield, which is located in Northfield Center. We are a 501c3 organization, and we collect, preserve, and we display artifacts from our entire community. Now, when I say entire community, that's Old Northfield. Old Northfield is a very large area which is now broken into several communities, and it does include Sagamore Hills, Northfield Center, Northfield Village, and Macedonia. So it is the historical museum for our entire area. We are housed in a dwelling that was built in 1844 by William Palmer. The house itself is very unique in that it is a vertical beam construction. By that I mean it's essentially a log cabin, but log cabins, the beams run horizontally. Vertical beam construction, these are planks, chestnut planks that range between 12 and 18 inches wide and 4 inches thick, and they run from the foundation up to the eaves, all the way around the building. There's only a couple of these left in Ohio. And I've only seen an example of one other, which was the Grant Homestead in St. Louis, and only the add-on kitchen had that. We've had many functions over the years. The house first started as a private dwelling, and then it was the housing for our very first superintendent of our school systems, and then it served as a dormitory for our teachers until the state of Ohio in the 50s says, nah, you can't do that anymore. Let's start paying our teachers a more livable wage. So at that time it became our community library. But when the new library was built over on Old 8, it then became our museum for our historical society. The library was moved out of the Palmer House and down into the new library building. So when my husband and I travel around the country, we often go to a lot of the local historical societies, and we've been to ones in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, Joliet, Illinois, and we always ask, how are you funded? And the answer is almost always, it's part of our community's budget. Now, we are completely and totally volunteer run. And up to now, we have tried to exist solely on our donations. And we have applied for grants, many of them. But if you've ever applied for a grant, you know you have to have money to get money. And a lot of these grants are 50-50 at best. Sometimes there's 80-20 or 60-40. And so I did get the bad news, 2 of my grant applications were turned down. So our annual budget is about $3,000 a year. And that covers our utilities, our insurance, and only minor repairs. So I'm here to ask for a donation to our Historical Society to help keep our doors open. And I'm also asking if you can find a way to see if you can put this into your yearly budget to help us. Northfield Center did recently donate $500 to our operating expenses, and they also gave us $247 for energy reduction, which I'm using to buy new LED lighting for our basement. Like I said, when I say a $3,000 operating budget, that doesn't give us much leeway for any kind of repair or upgrade. So I'm hoping to do a few things in our building this year, but I have to come and I have to ask for money. Does anybody have any questions for me?
So 3,000 is your total budget?
That's our total budget right now in order to just keep our doors open. That's if nothing breaks.
And does your whole budget go to just the property and the house, or does it go to education or other materials?
We did get a $100 gift card from Meyer to help with purchasing of paper and stuff like that. Most times when we need things, it comes out of the volunteers' pockets.
Okay.
By $3,000, that is our insurance, that is our monthly utilities, and the building is owned by the school system, so we lease it from them for only $1 a year. So, I mean, it's not that grand, but we are responsible for all of our repairs. We had to replace our roof. That was to the tune of $14,000. And we just had to repaint the entire outside. I'm sorry, is my time up?
You can finish, go ahead.
Okay. Because the house had been painted in a lead-based paint, we had to have it encapsulated with Rhino Shield, which was also very expensive. So, you know, our costs, if it hadn't been for Northfield Center giving us the $500 for our operating expenses, our donations this year have been a little bit less than $150. And that doesn't go very
Do you
far.
advertise for donations? Because I've never seen anything. I know where the Palmer House is.
We just recently on our website put a little donation button on there where you can click on it. And I've been trying to get the word out on that, and nobody's hit the button yet.
What is your website? If you could say, because this will be.
It is hson.info.
Okay. Because I think if we can get it out more too, I think we could talk about.
Yes.
I'm firm agreement because we all fund the cemetery, you know, as an organization. I'm not opposed to also providing annual money, and we can figure out how to put it in the budget. But I think too, we need to get this out more. Do
Yeah.
you do tours?
We are now closed until April.
Okay.
But we will do private tours if anybody wants to come and visit. I have a packet here with my contact information. We can set that up. I do understand you have to come in small groups because otherwise it's a quorum and it's a meeting, and so it would have to be, you know, sunshine law and everything.
Well, and then my other question is, are you doing anything in cooperation with the schools, other than that they lease it to you for $1. There's a place I never knew of in Streetsboro. And we're driving around, and I said, let's go down the street, and there's something similar to Palmer House. And I'm like,
Right,
I didn't
and
know
that,
this
that was,
existed.
that was funded by the Deffer family.
Yeah,
They have very deep pockets. That was one of the exceptions. They do have it in the city budget there, but the
Okay.
Deffer family has very, very deep pockets over there.
yeah. So I think if we could work together also to get more info out to the public.
Could we possibly have our website linked on your community, your city websites?
It's a possibility, yes.
Okay, I mean, we have that with Northfield Center and we have that with Northfield Village. And getting that with more communities would be a definite help. I have not spoken with Sagamore Hills yet.
I think it's important that the history gets out to, I look at the high school students, they probably have no clue where this is at. What was it?
Well,
How
we
did
do,
it come to
we
pass?
do
I only know
tours with the
because
third grade classes.
I've been here for a while, so.
Yeah, we
that's-
do, the third grade classes, they come
Good.
over as a part of their Ohio history. And we give them a program.
Okay.
I have a question for Mr. Gaddetti.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible for us to go more than one at a time and get a tour, as long as we don't say anything more
You just
than,
can't come as a quorum.
as long as we don't say any more than ooh and
You can
ah?
all go together as long as you don't discuss any substantive.
And you also have to have a
And-
public entity there, someone not on council, can't just be us.
Is that factual?
It's not a public meeting if no public business is being discussed. Now, for practical purposes, sometimes it's better to split it up so you don't have the accidental discussion of it, you know.
It's better not to worry about people, but I would think, can we, he moved from his regular seat. Over
We'll
there,
discuss it in our next work session.
yeah, to see what, if you could take a look to see how much we may have available. I'm looking at our finance director, he's sitting way in the back. He usually sits right behind you, so. And, yeah, we could then talk about it. And I would like to see if we could take action before, at our last meeting of the year, so we'd have it in December at the latest.
Oh, that would be a wonderful Christmas present.
Yeah, we'll talk about it at the next work session.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
coming.
much. I've got copies of our 501c3, our mission statement, business card. My personal information, contact information is on the back of the business card.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very nice, thank you.
Okay, next is correspondence from the clerk.
There was just an email from Ms. Bertel who just spoke to it. Other than that.
Perfect. Pending your new legislation, starting with ordinance number 67, 2022.
Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance 67, 2022 for its second reading by title only.
An ordinance providing for the 2023 annual appropriations for the city of Macedonia, Ohio.
Thank you. Ordinance number 71.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 71 for its second read by title only.
Second.
An emergency ordinance declaring improvements to a certain parcel of real property to be a public purpose, describing the public improvements to be made which directly benefit such parcel, requiring the owner of the improvements on such parcel to make service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a Bash Municipal Public Improvement Tax Increment Equivalent Fund for the deposit of such service payments pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Sections 5709.40, 5709.42, and 5709.43.
Thank you, and that's in reference to a TIF for the Bosch property, obviously, and our finance director is a TIF
He's TIF man.
officiant, I guess you would say.
Yep.
He's the
TIF
TIF man.
TIF
We
man.
have a thing.
So much so that he refers to himself as that. All right, resolution number 75.
Yes, I'd like to offer resolution number 75 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution authorizing the mayor to complete and execute ODOT preliminary participatory legislation giving consent for ODOT to proceed with project-PID number 116540 for the resurfacing of a portion of Valley View Road.
Director Gelati?
Yes, this is for resurfacing of Valley View Road in the area south of Twinsburg Road. As we discussed earlier, the city received a grant for $292,000 to go towards this paving. That's 90% of the project. City's only responsible for 10% of the cost, about $32,000. And as such here, with this legislation, we'll be handing it over to ODOT. They will bid and manage the project.
That's key, and I'm gonna repeat that, 90% funded through this grant that our engineering firm has been able to secure, so thank you for your time and effort and saving our residents a lot of tax dollars to pave that portion of the road and only having us pay 10%, assuming that this passes right now, but I'm fairly confident a 90% funded road is gonna be a pretty easy one, but we'll see here in a moment.
I recommend a yes vote.
It should be. And just so you realize, it's only part of Valley View, so if you drive Valley View down to Hudson, it's our part that's had some issues. And so once you get over to Hudson, that won't be in the project, that's their problem.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I'd like to adopt resolution number 75, 2022, and post the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 75 carries. Any other motions or legislative actions?
I'd like to make a motion to accept a donation in the amount of $50 from Susan Marone, which is to be used for city police department purposes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other motions or legislative actions? Hearing none, I'll move right into the mayor's report. The mayor's court report revenue for October of 2022 is $44,397.50. Today I'm going to talk a lot about economic development. In our work session, I spoke to this, but I find myself saying the same thing over and over and then still not getting to everyone. So today I'm going to kind of put it all into one encapsulated statement for everyone for where we're at in terms of a lot of our economic development. Don Bash Jewelers has broken ground. It's right behind the First Watch building over there. That project has begun, and it's a very exciting project for them. Those folks are all from our community, homegrown, expanding their business from where they're at currently next to the Winking Lizard to their own building, which is a testament to their business and their growth. So I think that's amazing that, you know, homegrown people are expanding and have that ability to do that. So very excited for them and their future. And I know they're very excited to get that building up and running, and it'll be great for them. Slim Chickens. Get this question a lot. Just to be clear, that's Northfield Center. We do a lot with their zoning, but Slim Chickens is not coming. I don't know why they backed out. I don't know what the reasons behind it were. Maybe because we have enough chicken. I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of the comments out there, but all I can say is that they're not coming, and we know that definitively. Panda Express, you can see the building. It's ongoing. It's up. It's starting to get there. When it's going to be done, I don't know. You can ask us all 75 times, and 75 times I'm going to tell you, I don't know, because the problem we have in society right now with everything, parts, materials, and labor. We don't know when that's all going to come, if the labor's going to be there, or any of that. So that's kind of applied to all of these. All the projects, when we ask them through our building department when it's going to be completed, we really don't get a definitive answer. I do have one I'll get to here in a minute, but they're at the end, the finish line, so it's kind of a little bit different. But I'll get to that in a moment. That's going to be IHOP. They will be open to the public, they tell us. This, I'm going to be really clear. They're going to be open on October 17th. So IHOP is going to be open and running to the public.
It's already.
I'm sorry, November 17th. I apologize.
What year that was?
I had the wrong one.
Wait, this is
2020
Dr.
Yeah,
Who.
November
2023.
17th. So you got November 17th. They will be open, up and running to the public, so,
Well,
sorry.
they have been
It's
training.
a week from today.
If you go by
That's
there
what
every
they're
day,
saying.
and they're hiring. If you need a job, they're hiring, but they have been training.
Optima is going to do a phased opening starting in December and fully open in February. Basically, they have the location over here at the top of Crow off of Route 82. That's where they've been functioning on for a while. They're going to partially have a portion of the building inhabited, and then by February, the remainder of the building will be completed. Again, that's kind of a large building material. I know there's issues there with that and labor, so that's the delay. But by February, they're saying the building will be fully completed and inhabited for the entire
And I
area.
was, they're my dermatologist. December might not happen. They're
I'm
working
going
like
off what
crazy.
they tell
If you
me.
drive over there, they're working like crazy, but, yeah.
The next one is there's a trailer sales and service business that has been presented to the planning. We have no action on that yet, but that's another one that's in the mix. I have word this week, there was something that came through to the building department for a Nordstrom rack in the TJ Maxx area. So that's another one that's upcoming. I think there's a lot of excitement about that.
The Burlington building?
Yeah, in that area, Burlington, TJ Maxx, all that, I think there's one space left in there, so that's gonna be something forthcoming here too. I know it's coming to planning commission, not guarantee it's gonna happen, but plans have been submitted, so I wanna be really clear, because this happens every time, that plans have been submitted, doesn't mean it's happening, it just means that they're likely to be happening, so.
Is TJ happening? Because I get people asking
TJ
me,
Maxx
is
is
it
happening.
coming, when's it coming? And I go, I don't know.
That's why I made a point today to say, I can't tell you when things are gonna open. They don't know when it's gonna open, but TJ Maxx is coming. There's nothing delaying that. I see the same Facebook things you're probably referring to. Someone starts that rumor and it starts rolling like a snowball down a hill. The reality is they are still coming from what we know, and they're working on it. So that's forthcoming here in the future.
Excuse me, Mayor. There's going to be a fourth, potentially a fourth business in that area?
If you look at that building, the way they shifted Burlington over, there are spaces in there for them to do that. So they can compartmentalize that building all the way down the line.
Right, but I thought they had to take the end off, the garage area. I thought that had to come down.
The garage area, I don't think would be there for retail, so that's probably gonna be removed, you're right. But that's not part of the building. So the building portion, the actual structure itself, not the garage portion, will be where they're gonna be inhabiting it.
So you'd have Office Max, the pet store, Burlington, TJ Maxx, and Nordstrom.
Correct. Next up is City Hall will be closed on November 24th and 25th, just so everyone knows. If you call up here, no one will be here. That's days off for the city in lieu of Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone, because we won't be here again until after Thanksgiving.
And scary, that's only 2 weeks away.
Right. I also want to touch on trick-or-treating. There were some conversations going around, and I had an email come through about changing trick-or-treat. There's a reason why in Macedonia we can stay consistent with October 31st from 6 to 8. And I know I try to be a little funny about that, but the reality is we stay consistent because there's so many times where I know one time in the past we changed trick-or-treat. And then we got, well, there's a football game, there's a soccer game, there's a basketball game, it's supposed to rain, it's supposed to snow. The reality is we do everything that's safe for the community. We put that out there. I know our police are out there, our firefighters are out there. They're all driving around on Halloween. Not that they're everywhere, they're not ubiquitous, but at the same time, they're out there. When you have your children out there trick-or-treating on October 31st from 6 to 8, partially, I think it usually is light when you begin, it gets dark by the end of it. The reality is there's so many events going on in the city. If you're not comfortable with trick-or-treating in the dark, I know every church in this community has a trunk or treat if you're interested in that. I know there's activities that we do through the recreation center that is during the day if you're more comfortable with that. I want people to do what's comfortable for them and their children. But the reality is for us to change trick or treat, we're gonna have 75 different reasons why we should change it. And it's just better to remain consistent. And that's why we've done that as long as I've been here. So I have no intentions of changing trick or treat to any other date or time than October 31st from 6 to 8, the way it's been here in my entire childhood, outside of one time when the mayor changed it, and it caused absolute chaos. It was just the most messed up thing because they changed it, I believe, to a Saturday, and then October 31st came and people were out trick-or-treating, and trick-or-treating had already happened. So we're not looking to change that at this point. So that's that piece of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, tomorrow's Veterans Day. Please thank a veteran, pay your respects to veterans that have served us. I think it's very important that we show them the respect that they deserve for defending our country. It's very important to me, and I hope it's important to all of you. And last but not least, please don't text and drive. Put the phones down, concentrate on the road. That's what's most important. Thank you. Next up is committee reports.
Parks and Rec Commission will have our November meeting next Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the activity room at the Rec Center. It should be our last meeting of the year, unless we need an emergency meeting in December. So if you would like to address that group, it's a public meeting, and that's all I have. Thanks.
Any other committee reports? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into department reports, starting with Supervisor Zernick.
Hello, thank you, Mayor. We currently finished our first round of leaf pickup. The service department has removed approximately 3,380 yards of leaves in the first round. It lasted from October 25th to November 8th, so we're currently on our second round now, and all the leaves seem to be down, so we're currently removing the leaves. That's it.
I'm going to add to that a little bit because I think it's important to note that your your crews are working basically 7 days a week, 12 hours a day right now, and I've heard a lot of folks that were upset that we didn't get there fast enough, but the leaves came down awfully fast this year, and I can tell you, after talking to Supervisor Zernak and Director Wilson, it could be 3 houses and the whole thing is full. And they gotta go dump that thing, and there's time involved in that. So, in speaking with Director Wilson, and I know he's been working with you, Mr. Zernak, on different options for the future to make that a little bit more of a more efficient, operation to get it moving quicker, so.
Right.
We can only ask people to have patience. This is weird, because I have a lot of trees in my yard, I can tell you, they've never come down that fast, ever. It's usually 8 to 10 times I gotta get out there and rake leaves and do that whole mess, so.
Yeah, the problem is there's so many leaves, and we're doing the best we can, but we get 3 houses, the trailer's full, have to take it, dump it, come back. Yeah, there's a lot of leaves now.
But to be clear, we have basically 3, sometimes 4 crews running. They're working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. We are hitting this thing as hard as we possibly can. I don't know what else we could do to get to you faster. I see all the leaves everywhere. I know it's frustrating, but I can tell you that if you think your grass is gonna die, it's now dormant, it will come back. It does every time. So we're getting there as fast as we can. Please have patience. That's all I can ask.
And those of you who put them in the street, I drove by again today, get them out of the street. It makes me crazy. But there are a couple of houses, they're all next to each other, and they all put them. If it rains like it's supposed to tomorrow, you may have those in your drainage, and it'll start blocking them. You are picking them up even if they put them in the street though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they suction out the gutters too. I know I've seen them out there.
We're trying to do ditches, gutters, everything. Because we know there's rain coming tomorrow, so we're trying to do best as we can.
Thank you. Director Gelati.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Thank you to council for passage of the legislation tonight. And just one more note to add for Valley View Road. ODOT has told us that repaving is scheduled for summer of 2023.
Thank you. Director Tech.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to start off by wishing all of our veterans a happy Veterans Day. We have a ton of veterans that come into the MACREC, so we definitely look forward to seeing them and sharing some conversations while they're working out. And if you go to the MACREC, you will find that the front desk is gone. The 23-year-old ancient island is history. And to answer everyone's question, we did not save any granite. We tried to. Unfortunately, the way it was glued on, we weren't able to successfully remove it without breaking it. So all the granite was gone from the front desk. Just want to be clear on that up front. We're pretty excited. All the electric for the building got moved. So it is now over on the wall where the lockers are. We have ordered the front desk already, and we're about 5 to 7 weeks lead time on that right now. So it's being fabricated for us to match the new aesthetic look of the facility. And then starting the concrete that got poured for the trenching is currently curing. And on Monday, we will start laying all the floor in the lobby area. So we should be done, I say should be, by Thanksgiving, hopefully. Front desk should be in by Christmas, hopefully. We all know how shipping's going though, so cross our fingers. The pool heater, we're getting a new lap pool heater because that one had gone down, and that one should be here in about 2 to 3 weeks. So we're getting ready for the install of that. And then the new big one on the list is the men's locker room. Our lockers are literally falling apart. There is no repairing them, and I'm telling everybody right now, we will not repair the existing lockers. They are falling apart. Any repair we do does not last. It's the wrong type of material to be in an aquatic area, and they're just absorbing the moisture and breaking. So we have gone ahead and we're currently ordering new ones. They're being designed for our facility, and we're still waiting on the lead time based on design. So it could still be 2 to 3 months before we get those. So I just want to be upfront with everybody there. Unfortunately, this is a quick turnover because the lockers were just put in, I think, January of 2020. So unfortunately, they were the wrong ones. And then the big one, Winterfest. Want to definitely educate the community. The tree lighting will not be at City Hall this year. The tree lighting will take place at Longwood Park, and it will be part of Winterfest, Saturday, December 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. We'll have a bunch of activities going on there. We're going to turn our camp shack into a Santa's workshop, so it should be pretty exciting for us. So please come out, look on our website, look on our social media for more information on that. And then final thing is we're just in the planning for our special events for 2023. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Speaking of Veterans Day, you have a veterans discount at the rec center, right?
Correct.
What is it?
challenging me. I think it's
It's
$100.
$100.
I think it's $100 off a membership.
Yeah, which I think so too.
For all
And you have
veterans.
Active military free.
There's a they
discount?
can get a free couple week pass that helps while they're on
While they're
leave time and
in
stuff.
between.
And then the other thing is right now from today through the weekend, all veterans can work out for free. So thank you for bringing that up. So it's literally just free days from now through Sunday for all veterans.
Okay, are we putting the information that you just gave us out about the tree lighting being involved in the Winterfest?
Yeah.
Because I have both those dates, I have them both in the same day at different times in different places in my calendar as we speak.
There was no tree lighting scheduled for here. So you may have just copied last year's into this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about a tree lighting
Because
here.
it's on the homepage.
We're putting it all together right now. We
Yeah,
just
it
have to be
was- It was on our webpage.
we just have to be cautious when we release information because we have so much
He's gonna
stuff going
show
on
you what
that
it is.
information starts getting mixed up, so we can't release it too quickly. So it is, the information's being put out now. Sam was working on it today. It should be, if it's not out now, it'll be out. Never mind, I stand corrected. She did get it out today.
And that's on the city's beautiful new website, macedonia.oh.us. So if you're
I would
curious
like,
about it.
I would like to throw out that Kyle did a great job getting this put together. I know Sam helped him out with the rec site and everything. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Kyle.
I either got it off the website or off the calendar.
Thank you.
But it was two different
Chief Ripley,
events.
We're all good. December 10th, Longwood Park,
6 to 8.
6 to 8. We're good.
Kind of like Halloween, October 31st, 6 to 8, right?
The date may go a week earlier next year, though. We'll see.
Thought you needed snow for your event.
We need a frozen pond.
Uh-huh.
That's not happening.
Chief Ripley.
Thank you, Mayor. Jason, we'll talk later how you think 23 is archaic, okay? Just saying. 23 years old and it's, what, you call it, archaic? Okay. So, later. The fire department's doing their best to help service with the leaves. In the last 5 days, we've had 2 major ground fires. I don't want to call them grass fires. Any kind of heat source hits those very, very dry leaves and it just starts running. I'd like to thank Service and Police. They helped us. Got the call about 5 o'clock. The guys are back here now cleaning up from it. No structures, truly no damage, with the exception of a Twinsburg firefighter was injured while deploying a line. He's going to be fine. He's going to be released from the hospital. But we did have one of those incidents that was started by someone burning in their backyard. 2 of our 3 communities pick up leaves. This is one of the things that can happen if you decide to burn them. So please, you may think it's not a problem, but that firefighter that was injured tonight, he probably has a little different opinion. So, but thanks for Police and Service, like I said, helping us out. And also, we were able to deploy the drones, and they went up, checked for hot spots, so we won't be back there tonight, and we won't lose a house because we missed a hot spot. So, should be out on social media and on the city's website for the Santa delivery program. Bag pickups mid-November. I didn't get a chance to pull my paperwork and look for that. Always very, very popular. And I'd like to thank all the veterans for what they've done for our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Lieutenant Yakupovich.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I know it's already been said, but I want to thank the veterans as well because it is that important, the service they provided to this country. Also, I want to thank Susan for her donation to the police department. It's greatly appreciated. And I want to announce that finally, next week, we will, at least our 4 new patrol vehicles, Chevy Tahoes, will be in transport. So at least we will have 4 vehicles that we know can get us down the road. So we're expecting to get those, if not late next week, early the week after. So we're excited about that. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Do you have any info on Shop with the Cop?
We're currently taking donations for Shop with a Cop. You can look at the city's website and the FOP website. It's been listed in both places. This year they're doing Venmo, I believe, for their donations.
PayPal MPD shopwithacop@gmail.com.
Okay,
Is the
there you go.
PayPal address.
Okay,
Or you can also give a donation here
Right.
at the police station window.
correct. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Director Veras.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to remind the residents, we are still processing the refund returns for those that have extended their RETA filing date. We did process about 20 of them this week. So, end of my report.
Thank you. Director Collins. Just magic. Oh, you didn't put the screen up.
The IT department closed 39 help desk tickets since the last meeting. Major projects are just getting all of our software licensing in line. We have a lot of software that renews as of the calendar year in January, so I'm getting all of our antivirus, firewall, and all of our licensing ready for the new year. I'd like to take a moment to thank the veterans and the report.
Thank you. Director Goodetti.
No report, sir.
Any unfinished business? Any new business?
I'd just like to take a moment to personally wish a peaceful Veterans Day to all veterans. My father's a veteran, Mr. Ventura, Mr. Tully is a veteran, and we're all very thankful for everything that he's done. And I would like to wish everyone in Macedonia a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
I have two real quick things. One, I've got some questions about campaign signs, so I checked with our inspector, Chris Hall. Campaign signs have to be down 1 week after the election day, so there are still some out there. They're slowly disappearing. I talked to one of the candidates today and reminded them that they should be gone because they do get a little annoying after a while when they're out there 30 days or 6 months later. So if you have any that are still up after a week, you can place a call to City Hall and talk to Chris Hall, the inspector. The other thing, I have a question, and I forgot to ask Mr. G. You know our street list? Is there any way to confirm we're doing Newport Drive next year? It's been it's moved up, so it'd be like number 4. But is there any way to confirm those residents would like to know?
Yeah, so you got the list there in front of you, and I'm sure you can, if you scratch off the roads we've paved this year, you can get a pretty good idea of what we would be looking at for next year to pave. The other thing I would say is that historically, every winter in a meeting in January is when we typically give our State of the Roads address, if you will, with the PowerPoint, and we also bring forward the legislation to authorize to go out to bid for that year's road program. So I'd look for that update in January.
So to put it simply, yes, it is in our discussions for what we plan to present in January, which we're nearly complete preparing for January, Newport will be paved in 2023.
Thank you, because Valley View Road, which we finally are doing because of all the riffraff, is still number 1, that spot. But that's because of all the issues with that street and getting the money, and thank you for getting the grant. That helps there. That really works. Thank you. The Newport folks will be ecstatic to hear
definitely.
that the bumps will be gone.
We'll get it done. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.